How about my sound, Alex? Okay.
The stream is easy. We get plenty from the stream. I don't actually turn you up very loud in here.
You go put something on that back wall so we know the time and all that?
How you doing, Padre?
I'm doing good. Now your sound is coming out of, yeah, okay. 3:56.
Actually, it's less. There's a 1 minute and something delay between here and here.
Okay, got it.
So it's like one and a half minutes.
Got some big books there. Show it down. So has Grace had any folds yet?
Not yet. She actually, I'm glad that we left her car up there. She left it at her roommate's house, and the check battery light came on. So the roommate's dad is super handy. He checked it, and he's like, she needs a new alternator. So he bought it and replaced it for her.
Whoa.
Oh, we're live on the stream, Alex. Good afternoon and welcome to Padre's Ponderings.
Happy New Year to everybody out there. A few days old now. Happy New Year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. This is the last time we'll see the Christmas decorations.
And I wore my red today, so I would kind of blend in. I noticed you look kind of blonde.
Sorry.
You look like Joseph in the Christmas pageant there.
I'm the shepherd.
Yeah.
You're the Magi.
I saw a picture of Nathan dressed up for the children's thing. They're like a shepherd and all that. That was pretty nice. Very special.
He did a wonderful job at that service. It was perfect. And I told him afterwards, he you know, if the pastor thing doesn't work out, he could be an actor.
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. Yeah, this be coming down.
It's starting right after Ponderings,
Yeah,
actually.
Because come January 6th, Epiphany, got to be gone by then.
Yeah.
And today's the
4th.
4th. So tomorrow's the last day. So time we get it down, it'll be right. But it has been really nice this year, though. Really nice through the Advent time and Christmas time.
I love the pop of red in here.
Yep.
The blue and white
on
and
the
red.
historic campus, they used white this year for the first
I
time,
know.
and that was really unusual. And white poinsettias and lilies, very special. Yep. All of our flower people do a good job. They really do.
Yes.
Praise God for that.
So we have that in between. This is the first day I've been back in the office in a while. School's back, teachers are back, kids don't come back until tomorrow. So there's a little bit of activity. So it's nice to see faces again. But it was nice to be able to work at home for a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. Do you get anything done?
I got a lot done.
Frolicking around with the dog and the son?
A lot of walks with the dog, but a lot of family time, which was fantastic.
Drew goes back to California when? Saturday. Well, is he concerned about all these flights being canceled everywhere? I saw on the news last night that 85% of the flights from Reagan Airport in Washington have been canceled that day.
Today?
No, yesterday.
Well, did you see why?
Well, a big snowstorm or something, wasn't it?
Huge. So where I used to live in Virginia, they had 12 inches during the day yesterday. No power. Cell service is down. Not good. It's
So
beautiful, but
Now,
it's
how close is it? Fredericksburg
good.
was how close to Washington?
50 miles.
Wow.
So that whole 95 corridor is shut down,
Whoa.
like completely shut down. So, I mean, and it was like 70 degrees on Saturday. So, so that's why all those flights are canceled.
Yeah, I
But
wore a sweater to the Grace Time service. I had to take it off before it started.
I know,
It was just too warm.
when I left service on Sunday, I was like, oh my gosh,
We're in December, but today's more.
it's pretty.
It's probably 50s, something out there today. This is November in the Low Country. Not November, January in the Low Country. It's in the 50s, something like that. Nighttime down in the 40s,
Yeah,
something
that's
like
nice. Okay, so I did something that I haven't done since January of 2020.
that. Did you make a resolution?
Well, I have a couple of goals. I don't call them resolutions, but goals. I actually bought a planner.
Whoa.
I have not bought a planner because the 2020 planner went in the trash in April of 2020 because I can't stand the marking things out and everything that I had put in there, canceled. So we're starting fresh.
Man, I've got
And I'm using a pencil.
I've got all my planners up there, and yeah, I've had my 2022 planner since October.
I know, you gave me a
So
long
stuff-
list of things that are already going
Stuff
on
starts
the
coming in
calendar.
there. You got to keep track of what's going on. Yeah, I'm glad to see you're growing up there, stepping up
Yes.
to the paper and pencil era. Yeah, but you know, Nathan and all them, they've got it on the.
Well, I have it. I'm trying to have it in both places
Wow.
because sometimes it is also good to see it written down.
So you don't make a resolution. You call it what?
Goals.
A goal.
I don't know what the difference is, but
Well, I made a goal too.
okay.
I'm going to try to beat your mama to the mailbox and throw away all the front gate and all these other
The catalogs.
things that come rolling in there. Golly, that's the last thing she needs to do is get ideas from somewhere. You know, because she's on the machine with the Pinterest and the.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of folks helping you think of things on it.
Things you really don't need too.
You remember? Do you remember when you were little getting the Sears Roebuck catalogs?
Oh my gosh, yes. And you just sit there and I need that. I need that. That's how you made a Christmas
Yeah.
list.
Mom used to call that the wish book. And you go through there
was like
you
that big.
couldn't
Remember?
think. Oh yeah, and I don't even know. Sears is still around. But boy, they had the whole thing on there. And see, the thing is, that was the same idea as those front gate things. You could look through there and dream dreams and see things that you'd never thought about before, and you could order them. Yeah, it was all through the countryside. Everywhere those were real big. And in some parts of the countryside, it served another very real purpose because you read them in the outhouse.
Okay.
And
You're
so,
going way back.
Yeah, you read them in the outhouse, and so when the appropriate time came, you just tore a page out. So,
Oh, mercy.
But
That's
that's
too
another
much
story.
information, Padre.
all right, so what's the blue book you got there? I understand the black book now. Faith.
That's the faith planner. So it has different spiritual goals for the year. And it's really good. So I've started jotting some things
You made
down.
some spiritual goals?
I did.
Do you want to share any of those?
Well, one of them is this. So I started it last year, but I didn't get every day in. So I'm
I
restarting
think
it
your
this
mama
year.
has one of those too.
Yes. So this is the Bible recap. And Tara Lee Cobble came in September. It's hard to believe it's already been that long. But this is a great way to read through the Bible in a year. And we started in Genesis on the 1st, and now we're in Job because it's chronological.
In 3 days you got there?
We didn't read all of Genesis, so we read, I think,
And you
through
obviously
like chapter
skipped.
10, and then you go to Job, and then you come back to Genesis.
So is it based on like,
It's chronological. But we have some books left. So there are several people, I put it out on social media that we have some hard copies left. We have about 8 left. So if anybody's interested in starting the Bible recap, you can do it with the podcast. You don't have to have the book. This is her commentary that goes with every day. So if you're interested in getting a hard copy, we have them here at the chapel. They're $24 if you just come and ask Sue to get you a Bible recap, and she'll give it to you. So you read in the Bible, and then you can read her commentary.
So
about it.
like with that page right there, Genesis 1, you would read the first 3 chapters of Genesis.
So on day 1, on January 1st, I read Genesis 1 through 3, and then you can read her commentary that goes with it, or you can listen to the podcast. I like having a hard book.
Do you write in it?
Yeah, I do. Underline, highlight, all that good stuff. It's a great resource. So we have about 8 of those
Bible
left. If
recap and
anybody's
faith
looking.
planner. You're loaded, aren't you?
I'm ready to roll. Ready to roll. And
a
I've
man-
done pretty well. It's January 4th.
Man joined the church this morning, and he and his wife, and asked him his cell phone, and he couldn't remember his cell phone number. And then he said, "But I really don't use it." And she said his wife said he doesn't text or anything like that. He has a flip phone, and it's just for emergency. He knows how to dial a number on there on that. She has another phone that she knew her number, but he uses her email too, and he's got that figured out. He was born in 1933.
Wow.
1933. Yeah. It's kind of amazing. We've got a number of folks that are up there. I don't know how many we have in the 90s now, but it's not all that many. Mama was the oldest person and then when she died, dropped down to about 93 or 94 or something like that. But surprisingly, people are around a lot longer now, and I think they're more conscientious about their health, and they're being careful so that they don't. The biggest fear most of them have is falling, and that's a right place to fear. Don't drive at night, and don't take chances. I mean that's just smart. Just smart. I'm gonna try to be smart this year too.
Okay. What is one thing you're really looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to the teaching that's going to be done. Jonathan's teaching, and then Josh is teaching
Josh
in there,
is
and
teaching on Paul. I'm excited
Josh is
about
teaching
that.
on Paul. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting Nathan and Josh both ordained. That's
I know
gonna
the
be
first one's coming up soon, the 19th of
January 19th,
right here,
right
and everybody's invited.
Yeah, Josh will be here for that. Looking forward to getting those fellows involved in much more way like that. And then I've got lots of work that I'm working on, and I want to be teaching in the fall. I back my stuff up to there so I can get through what I need to get through here. And preaching. Looking ahead to what I want to be preaching on. Excited about the one coming up this week. No Time to Snooze in 2022. Excited about the one that's coming out the next after that. Just barely started working on that now. But
What was the No Time to Snooze? What was the scripture for that?
Acts 20.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. We were supposed to think about
Eutychus.
Eutychus.
Eutychus. You've already.
I haven't. I will. But you have to send me your sermon notes too.
Yep.
That's how
That'll be coming to
Prep.
you later this afternoon, I hope. So that'll be good there, I believe. Just that idea of getting in gear. There's a lot ahead this year, really is, and I'm very hopeful this year that we move through this Omicron thing, and there's not another one coming right behind that, and that people will feel a little bit safer, a little bit more at ease in their interactions with other people. And I think people are still tentative about a lot of things. And when you're tentative about some things, invariably it bleeds over into other things. Sure. If you get tentative in those as well. So I'm looking forward to that for all of our people. Looking forward to explore some new ways to how we can interact with people on the streaming stuff that we're doing as those numbers continue to go. And had a person that was talking to me the other day and just was so thankful that I started the streaming, and when COVID hit 2 years ago, and just wanted to say, you know, that what a blessed event. And in the 2 years' time, he and his wife, their health had gone down, and they were just unsure when they'd be able to get back to church, not because of COVID, and that how that was just a great blessing to them. And we sent them the wafers. We're still sending out a lot. We sent them the wafers, and so they're involved in that way. And so I'm looking for ways that we can explore and expand that. And we'll do a lot of the teachings this year here, not at the historic gamma, just for the streaming and being able to incorporate those folks who can't come. And I think we just everybody needs to be more sensitive to the fact that as we live longer, we can't always do everything we have been doing. And we've got to make sure that those of us who are still zipping around, you know, that we don't lose sight and just discard or discount the folks who can't zip around. I mean, that's just...
I think another benefit to the streaming, though, also is that you can go back and watch it at your convenience.
Right.
So if you work at night, you can't come to a Wednesday night teaching, but that could be how you start your day the next morning.
Like your mama
nice.
Watches this. She's
standing in line at UPS.
Yeah. Or
Or
later in the
whenever.
evening or whenever.
Right.
But it's there to work into her schedule.
Right.
And everybody's busy with all kind of stuff.
Right.
And so you can't just plan on everybody stopping the world at 1 o'clock to watch on what's going on. But you're right, the internet makes things available for people to engage with on a convenient time. And that's
That's also why we do, after services are streamed on Sunday morning at 9 and 10:30, every other hour they're replaying, and people will pick it up when it's convenient.
I was on the historic campus this past week, and between the 8 and 10 o'clock services, I always go in a room over there. I've got time and sit down and watch the chapel service in there, check on the fellows and see what's going on and all that. And it just is a blessing to be able to do that.
So while you're over there, you're watching here. That's nice.
Got to keep a check on the fellows, you know. Keep a check on the fellows. Nathan was preaching over there this past week. Did a good job.
And Jonathan is on the way home right now from Passion with the college students and young adults. And he and Josh Hicks are
between
driving the
35 and
buses.
40 of them, wasn't it?
They had over 30.
That's great.
So pretty exciting.
I hope that they didn't pick up anything down there.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I watched the Georgia and Michigan game, and I watched Alabama and Cincinnati. And there's, 80, 90,000 people.
Right. No.
You couldn't have got a handful of masks from the whole crowd there. No way. No way. You know, and I don't know what, maybe it's, maybe drinking alcoholic beverages does away with the COVID.
Kills the germs? I don't know. I don't think that's the case.
Maybe that just kills it all. But you watch on the professional football games and things the same way. The same way. And then one of those games, I saw a little bit of it yesterday. No, today, on Sunday. And they were playing in the snow. And it was showing, you know, there are different times they show people in the stands like that, you know. And there's people there, and they're all shriveled up like that. And here's a guy with a big old Miller Lite, biggest can I ever saw like that. He was, it's the one that his hand didn't freeze to the thing. It was cold as it could be. Guys out there running around playing ball. But playing ball would just keep you warm.
Right,
I mean, you're
but
busy.
if you're just watching.
Just sitting there watching, waving your little flag or something like that, wow. That's why they have TV. You can watch those things. Watch them at your convenience online later on.
That's true. That's true.
Man. But anyway, it's all about online. That's good. That's good doing. So we got starting up
God's
we got?
Goods reopened today.
Today?
They, I was in there last week, and they did a deep clean. Had a huge sale right before Christmas, and then did a really good deep clean. And now they can bring in new inventory, and so they're back to rolling after having a little bit of a break, which was nice for all the volunteers. And so many people go out of town during that time
And
too.
then we've got Discipleship.
Discipleship Explored starts on Monday, and we have a waiting list.
Great. So
Which
you
is
got
a great problem
start
to
up for the
have.
next time you do that one.
Right. So that starts Monday.
Healing After Loss.
Healing After Loss starts Sunday. I'm pretty sure they're also full.
I told the folks on the historic campus that we had over 24 people die in the parish last year, you know. And maybe it wasn't somebody in their family, but maybe it was. And that after that period of huge emotions, you get into this grieving process, and that's why we had the program. And it's not, and that program is not open. It's open to people whether you're members of the church or
Right.
not. So, and I told them that, you know, you could have a friend that was involved in that in some way or another.
Yeah, that's a great program. I've heard from many people that have been through it, and it really helped them during
And what
that
about
process.
that ministry that, the care ministry? that
So,
Donna,
Caring Hearts.
Caring Hearts Ministry.
Caregivers Support Ministry. They have a meeting here on Monday, and that's a once-a-month meeting with a social worker that comes in and gives resources and encouragement. I've been to a few of those meetings just to kind of learn what they do, and it's so informative. Oh my goodness. And a lot of caregivers think that they don't need that, but everybody needs encouragement. That is a hard place to
Now,
be.
that's designed for the people who are providing care for
Elderly or special
whatever,
needs.
and they're involved in it basically 24 hours a
Yeah.
day. They that's their life.
Yeah,
That's their life.
and that's a tough place to be.
You know, and that thing is, we live longer. There's things happen. I was on the historic campus, and when I was leaving, I'd finished watching the chapel. I just watched the sermon part of it a little bit, and then I'd get going to get over there. It was about 9:45, and I was headed over, walked through the parish hall, headed over to the church. And there was a lady standing there, and she was just looking around. And she's been a member of the church 15 years. So I spoke to her, I said, can I help you with something? And she said, I don't remember how to get back to the church. And I just wanted to weep. And I just took her hand and led her over there, you know. But she's in her late 80s, and you know, she's in a place now.
Right.
She has friends that bring her to church. I called them up that afternoon and thanked them for their ministry to her. We don't ever know.
Yeah. So, but we do have a lot of care ministries to help those in the parish and your friends. You don't have to be a member to be involved in a lot of the things that we do.
That's right. It's, you know, it's about serving. It's about caring. And our caring should not be restricted to
Right.
a little handful of people that we know or associate with. It's got to be bigger than that. And that's, you know, the God's Goods generate money for missions and all that.
And Food Bank did not take a break during the holiday because people have to eat at all times. So they were busy yesterday serving, and last week the big need was cereal. The cereal had gotten really low, so this week the needs are pasta and kind of the normal stuff, and back to needing diapers and wipes again. So,
Nathan said in his sermon that every morning he starts out with a cup of coffee and a bowl of cereal. So I'm going to meet with him later in the week and talk to him about eggs and
something more
cream of wheat. Yeah.
Liver pudding.
Liver pudding.
I don't know if anybody knows what liver pudding is.
That's what your mom made for me. New Year's Day morning, we have a friend, Granger McCoy. His brother died, Adair, lives on Wadmore Island, and his children are adults. They had started a ministry of stone ground yellow grits.
Yum.
And Granger sent us a pound of them for Christmas time. So we had that, and then
My father-in-law sent
Geach
liver
sent the liver
pudding.
pudding, yeah, from Twino to something like that,
Oh,
isn't it?
shoot. Yeah, it's in Lexington.
Yeah.
They make liver pudding, which is hard to find now.
So we had liver pudding, and you put it in the bowl, and then you put the grits on top of it and stir it all up in there, you know.
Okay,
and then,
so
and
what? So
you
how would
don't
you
look at
describe?
it, you just eat it.
And you
Look-
don't investigate what's in it either. How would you describe
No.
liver pudding? Because it's not really pudding.
No, they just call it that. But it's the things that you wouldn't put on a plate.
It's liver
Liver,
And
liver,
stuff.
and et cetera.
and et cetera.
And you throw it all on the ground, and you grind it up, and that's it. You know, and it was a way. You know, it's a
was a necessity.
rural country thing, and you don't waste anything. And so
Right.
you butcher a hog, and then you take these other parts and you just throw them in there. You grind it all up, and that's it. And it has.
Usually has rice.
This didn't have any rice in it though. But when Mother made it, she would put
rice
ice
in
in it. Yeah.
So she every year would make liver pudding.
Oh yeah.
You liked
And
it.
it's wintertime. That's a wintertime
Right.
thing.
It's very hearty.
It's wintertime, and that's because that's when they butchered the hogs in the country. You know.
But probably, I don't know, 3 years before she passed away, I was talking to her about the liver pudding because every year she would make it, and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
laborious to make. And then she finally shared with me, I don't like it. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I said, you make it every year. She's like, but I don't eat it. I never noticed. So that was her labor of love to you.
You could go. Used to be that in Sumter, you could go to the Piggly Wiggly, and they always had liver pudding.
Harvin's meat packing.
Harvin's
You can
Packing
still
Company.
find it in Sumter.
Liver pudding. Yep. You know, that's just one of those things that, you know, you got the specialty food places like Whole Foods and the new market here on
Low
the
Country
Parkway.
Market.
Yep. But liver pudding is not what they don't carry that.
Nope.
It's an acquired taste, I guess.
I love liver. So I like it.
Now,
But
see,
that- a
that's
lot
the
of
thing.
people
I don't like liver, but I like liver pudding. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just I like it
Okay.
because I taste it with my memories.
Oh, that could be.
So maybe that's what. That's a good phrase. I taste it with my memories.
I don't have a pen, otherwise
No,
I'd
that's
write
a good
that
one,
down.
though.
That's a
That's
good one. That's
a good-
you could use that.
Taste it with my memories. You know that taste it with your memories.
There's a lot
know,
of things like that.
Oh yeah, and you know, you look at people with your memories too, good or bad. Good or bad. Your mom looks at me with good memories, most times. Most times. I look at her with good memories all the time.
Oh, did you hear that, Becky?
Oh.
Watching it.
But isn't that true?
Oh, I think that's one of the.
We look at people and things through the lens of experience,
Absolutely.
and we just can't shake it. And if we think somebody's a jerk every time we see them, we don't give them the benefit of the doubt. They're a jerk. I've been reading a neat book about Grant, Ulysses S. Grant. You know that's not his real name.
No.
How do you get
Last
by?
week it was
How do you get
Lincoln.
by
I
without
don't
me
know.
telling
How
you
do-
these
I
things?
know.
Today.
That's
yes.
why I hang on every word you say on Padre's Ponderings.
His
That's
real
all there's-
name was Hiram Ulysses Grant. His father wanted him to have an education. His father was a tanner,
Okay.
and his father wanted him to have an education, and so he went to friends and got him an appointment to West Point. Now, before that, he'd never been to formal school, and he taught himself. And the congressman who gave him the appointment put his name down as Ulysses S. Grant because he thought his middle name would be his mother's maiden name, which was Simpson. And so when he got to West Point and was enrolling, he told the people there, that's not my real name. And he said, your appointment says Ulysses S. Grant. That's the name you're going to have if you're coming here. So from then on, he was Ulysses Simpson Grant. His wife called him Yule. U-L-U.
So even after he
ULY.
finished, because he was then commissioned.
Yeah. He was
He
commissioned
had
as
to stay,
Ulysses
so
Simpson
then
Grant.
when he was president, it just
It
stuck.
just stayed right with him, Ulysses S. Grant.
Didn't he finish like bottom of his class? Wasn't he the
It was
general that?
Custer was at the bottom. Custer was at the bottom. No, but Grant and a lot of those fellows and generals in the war, they were all the same,
Oh, they were,
within
yeah.
1 or 2 years of each other at
Absolutely.
West Point and all that, yeah. But really, that's a very interesting book.
So did you finish the Lincoln book?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you've moved on to Grant?
Now I'm looking at Grant, yeah.
Are
You
we
know, you
going
had-
through a civil war?
No, well,
Kinda.
you know, a little bit, I think, just working some of those great men through there like that. And it was really interesting, the part last night. Now, this is moving all the way. And the focus of the book, I mean, I finished the first third, I guess, now. And the focus on the book, and the reason I'm reading it, is it deals with the powerful influence that Grant was on holding the nation together. I did not realize that it almost came apart again after Lincoln died and when Johnson was president. So I'm looking at that whole thing and how he was so much like Lincoln in his temperament and all that kind of stuff. And the idea of looking at people through the lens of experience and what we've heard, which is one of the terrible things about social media and all that.
Absolutely.
You know, Grant had this reputation of being a drunk. That was never true. That was started by the general who was over him, Halleck was his name, who resented the fact that Grant was so good in the military. And so he was trying, and Grant's out west, he's in Mexico, different places like that. He's trying to discredit him in Washington with the people who are controlling the military up there. And so he paints this picture of him being a drunk, and so he's not reliable and all that kind of, it just wasn't so. But it followed him all the way through. He never could shake it. Sherman was tattooed the same way, never could shake it. But the people that knew him, and his soldiers and all that, it's just a whole, I've never read anything about Grant, so it's just a very special. So I'm looking forward to finishing up. I'll finish it up this week. I don't have but about 300 pages to go. Look at it. Just very interesting, because we do tend to hear things about people and we store them away. And invariably we stow away the junk and not the other. Mm-hmm. So.
And there's a whole lot of junk out there that is not true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Grant
So
was,
that's a really good lesson for us, though.
especially in this day and time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Especially this day and time. And it's just, I'm concerned about the censoring that goes on with the social media stuff and all that. And it's shaping people's view of people and circumstances. And the thing is, whether it's true or not, and a lot of it you find out later on wasn't true, it's too late.
Right. The damage is done.
And that person's stuck with that. It's almost like a tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I was talking to somebody, to actually Pastor Nathan's wife, Lauren, and she's in counseling. And she was reading off the statistics for the past 2 years of depression specifically in teenagers was this conversation we were having, and how social media, as kids were not in school, teenagers were not in school, and they're isolated and they're at home, they're on their devices. And the effect of social media on depression and anxiety during the pandemic specifically was unbelievable, especially in girls, because of all of the negativity and just that desire to be liked and all of that. It's unbelievable how unhealthy it's become. Yeah. And how what one person's opinion of you is, how that affects especially our teenagers.
I think that wanting to shape people's opinion of you could well be one of the motivating factors behind tattoos these days.
I don't know about that.
Have you ever noticed all these people that are playing sports and all that and basketball play? They got tattoos.
They're covered.
Tattoos all over, and they say all different things about it, you know. And I don't read what it is, but the pictures and stuff, and I'm sure they're trying to communicate something about who they are and what they feel and all that kind of stuff. I believe that where I drew, there is a fortune to be made for the young person who's an entrepreneur who can come up with a way to get rid of tattoos.
Well, there is a way now, but it's extremely painful.
Get rid of tattoos. Because I believe a lot of these people that are in their teens and 20s and 30s, when they're going to be in the 50s, they're going to look at that and say, what was I thinking? And they're going to put the big eraser on that. And they're covered up. Covered up. Oh, anyway, that's another story.
An entrepreneurial idea for something.
There it is.
There you go.
There it is. Come up with a way that instant, like
Like a magic eraser.
Etch-a-sketch.
Oh, yes.
Did you ever have an etch-a-sketch
Yes, I
thing?
did.
You did, didn't you? You
Yeah.
draw on there, and then you lift up the thing, it's gone.
Gone.
Yeah, make a removable tattoo. That'd be good.
Yes. All right, well, it's 1:30 and
So when
we're-
does Drew go to California again now?
Saturday.
Saturday. So his daddy be going with him to get him through the?
He actually, nope,
Los Angeles?
he's solo on LAX this time.
Because he was hesitant about that coming, right?
But now they've walked through it together.
Well, I hope that the flights don't get canceled and stuff. So many are being canceled now for whatever reasons. But
Yeah, Delta seems to be doing all right, so we'll see.
and
But
they're
there's
from.
nothing you can do about it.
He'll go from Atlanta. So he's not going north where the bad weather is and stuff like that. He'll be flying in the sunshine.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
all right, somebody is ringing the doorbell. We got to go answer the door because Sue is on lunch break apparently. So we'll answer the door, and the wreaths are going to start coming down. So it'll be a clean
Yeah.
slate in here
Epiphany
on
and
Sunday.
green sashes and season for seeing the Lord revealed in your life. Yep, that's coming up. And Lent's right behind that. So. That's another story too.
That is. We're not going to look at Lent right now.
Later on.
All right. Well, remember, food for the food bank donations you can drop off on Saturday at the Mission Mall, which is the God's Goods Complex. All services on Sunday, and then also Monday. Lots of people are still in need, so keep those donations
please.
coming. And go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
Thanks
be to God.
See ya when I see you. Never doubt God's love for you or mine.